Welcome to Brian Jack's Rakkety Tam, Chapter 18, An Otter and a Squirrel. Euphis Lightpaw was really enjoying himself. He lay flat on the high bough of an alder, watching Gulo the savage and his vermin scourge the woodland beneath. The water vole was not only an expert thief, but also a clever water vole tactician. He knew that he left the vermin camp carrying the object he had stolen. The white fox and the ermine would be on his tail. So Euphis left them a trail, not back to Dublin, but to the lakeside, but to a clear track to the east. It delighted to play games. He would leave marks of sword points scraping the banner, brushing from his various secret spots throughout Mossflower. Euphis would watch them getting more frustrated. Literally, he realized the trail he was leaving resembled that of a wolverine. Fools and idiots, thinking that they were tracking him to his home. As long as they followed, Euphis Lightpaw would lead them on a merry trail. Wherever they halted at night, he would sneak into their camp and steal some more booty. Euphis watched the vermin, figuring out his next move, while murmuring softly to himself, "Ah, come on now, ye great thick-headed go-beans. I'll be drawing rings around you and you'll never know how to play me game. Sure, I think a little jaunt over the ditch and across the cold path is called for. That'll wear your sore paws down a bit. Y'all sleep all for the better for it tonight when I robbin' ya." After the vermin had moved on, Euphis came down from his perch. He would hear Gulo berating his creatures threateningly. "Gar, Applegates, bumbers, find that trail and you're leaving a trail of your own blood if you try my patience any further." Euphis cut off an arc, crossing the ditch in the path ahead of the vermin scouts. He artfully laid fresh marks on the east side of the woodland, scaring one or two trees with his stolen sickle blade and brushing some low bushes, which dragging the flag over the grass. Then he backtracked through the path, shined up the thick cracked willow tree, and peered at the leading scouts, who were blundering about only a few spear lengths short of the ditch. Snapping the string of one of his pearlless necklaces, the crafty water vole tossed the shells of the colored stones down into the path. He saved a few for the biggest beads, and placed them in the tongue of his sling. Creek, the ermine tracker, was forging a few paces ahead of the rest when an amber bead struck him lightly on the football. "Over here," he passed. "This way, look." The white fox captain Urfring rushed past Crick, scrambling his way over the ditch onto the path. "Look, shells and beads. These are off my necklace, dearie. Hurry and tell mighty Gulo we have found the trail again. Methinks he goes east into the forest." In a short time, Gulo and his beasts were into the east forest, discovering the clues which Euphis had left them. The vile thief descended from the willow, chucklingly. "Off you go now, you graven idiots. Run yourselves ragged around the trees. Sure, I'll pay you a call tonight while you're all asleep." Euphis recrossed the path and climbed down into the ditch. He settled down safely and took a nap. Scarcely he had closed his eyes when he heard the sound of some beast coming up the path from the north. Keeping low on the water vole peered over the ditch edge. Armel, Brookie, the rope halters about the necks. Furl and Burgle, the two ermine scouts, were leading them. The squirrel maid and the otter maid were hemmed in by Captain Shard and the rest of the vermin. The group halted right opposite where Euphis was crouching in the ditch, staring at the signs of the recent disturbance of the path's other side. Burgert, seemingly slightly bewildered. "Lord Gulo has taken the others east into the woodlands, but I thought we were going to the Redwall place." Furl muttered under her breath, Yeah, I thought we were ordered to go there also." Shard's mate, Frida, clipped the ermine scout ear sharply. "Thou art not here to think. Lord Gulo will wrest all of the information he needs from these two. They are from Redwall Fortress, so see how they are garbed like." the white fox. They were wearing the same clothes, the white fox with the cloaks and the robes. Captain cut it abruptly. Cease squabbling and lead on, you two scouts. We're go to join the mighty Gulo. Shard let them go forward into the trees while he hung back to Frida, whispering to her, "Say not to Gulo or any beast about this." Drawing his cloak back slightly, he revealed the cloth and enclosed Martin's sword, which he had snatched from Irma. The vixen touched her nose slightly. "The sword is far too valuable for others to see. It's our secret." And Shine's mate proceeded to follow the rest of the vermin going east into Mossflower. Euphis relaxed. He sat down and took some food from the small wallet he carried in his belt. The old thief scrunched on his rations while he analyzed what he was just witnessing. Euphis often held conversations with himself. He found it easier to think that way. Oh, now, the fox was right indeed. Those mates both come from Abbey. I've seen them myself when I visited there to borrow some of the grand old fruit from the orchard. Sure, they're cunning things, these foxes. I wonder what Big O had under his cloak. Well, no matter. I'll find out tonight when I pays him a visit. But 'tis a bit of shut-eye I'm needed now, just to keep me wits sharp after dark. The little thief was never troubled by conscience. In a short time he was snoring like an innocent infant, wrapped snugly in the flag, curling up on the ditch bed amid the last autumn leaves, far from the questing vermin. It came as a rude awakening when the point of a claymore tipped his nose. Two rough-looking squirrels, a hare and a hawk, were standing over him. Ever quick-witted one, Euphis smiled up at them. "Why, isn't it grand old day?" "Sure it is, sirs. He was sleeping in their flag." "Me tired of me now. I'm gonna block your way. Just step over me, you tired carcass, and carry on with whatever you're bound." Doogie Plum hauled him upright. "Aren't you saucy wee maggot? Where'd you get that flag, eh?" The thief's agile brain was racing back together. He replied, "Oh, it is some colored scrap of cloth you're after. Well, discuss it later on, my friend. I think it is your fine buckles are on the trail of that dreadful-looking beast they call Mighty Gulo. Sure is a fine half-lent name for an old murderer, isn't it?" Tam smiled at the thief's audacity. "Aye, we thinks about the flag later. Now, what about this Gulo? Surely you've seen him?" Disengaging himself deftly of Doogie's dip, Rufus answered, "I'd be right here, sir. Sir, the true me name's Rufus Lightpaw. I've sighted the villain, him and his whole army of boys. And I'll tell you something else, too. They've got with them 2 prisoners, river rats, and haven't they just captured another 2 poor creatures, an otter and a squirrel like yourself, sir, both maids from the Abbey of Redwall." Ferdinand's jaw tightened. 2 Rodwell maids, the dirty scum. 2 Rodwell names, the dirty scum. Which way they've gone, Mr. Lightpaw? The Watervole winked. "If you came with me, sir, I'll show you, sir, I will." Before they could stop him, the little thief had bounded out of the ditch, across the path, up to the high branches of the cracked willow. Dragging his sickled sword, he danced about on the tree limb, waving the flag and brandishing his blade. "Put a paw near me, any of you, and I'll rip this flag to bits and carve cobs of any beast who tries to get up here. I'm desperate character when my first stroke was the wrong way, so keep your distance." Tam signaled his friends to stay in the ditch. "Leave this to me, mates." Standing on the foot of the tree, he called up to Euphis. "Listen, friend, we don't mean to any harm. I'd like to have that flag, but there's something of greater importance. We must free the 2 mates of those vermin. They're slayers, and they'll eat the flesh of our other creatures. I'd be grateful for your help, Euphis." The water-vole sat down on the branch, shaking his head. "Flesh-eating's a terrible wicked thing. I'm no murderer, just a thief. I'll tell you what, though, fair exchange is no robbery. I'll give you back your flag if you help me get these mates free, but we'll call it a trade, see?" "That sounds fair enough, but what do you want us to trade with?" "Sure, I'll throw this fine curvy sword, too. How that'll suit you." Tam struggled. "Ye still haven't told us what you want to trade us for." The watervole dropped a little branch. "That's a grand old sword you carry, sir. A big and straight one, fine, merciful hilt to it." Doogie scrambled out of the ditch. "Ah, he wants your sword, Tam. You cannot part with that." Turgon hopped into the path. "Creep! No, give sword, burl. I killed the beast." Ferdinand nibbled in his lip. But what about the maids? Euphis pointed at the hare. Isn't it the wise one now? Give me the sword, and you'll be gaining your flag and the lives of 2 prisoners, and me sword into the bargain. Either that, or you get no flag, and those cannibals will serve the maids up for supper. Now, what is it going to be? Make up your minds. Tam tossed the sword up to the tree. Here, catch. Euphis caught it nearly by the basket hill, but then he descended through the branches, grinning. Oh, that's stuff. Good beast yourself, sir. So here's your flag and this grand old curved sword. I'll let you be where the maids will probably be. But Tam had other views on the subject. No, Euphis, I want you to keep the flag and the curved blade. It's not my liking. There's what you must do. Go with my friends. Entering and Ferdinand to the Abbey of Redwall and wait there. The Goshawk's young hare protested. Wrong! This bird stay with Burl, kill lots of vermin. I say, Tam, old lad, I come with you rescuing maids and all, but I'd be jolly good at it, what? The border warrior would not hear of it. No, Doggy and I stand a better chance of doing this alone. We don't need Euphis either. The tracks are clear enough. Our mission was to get through the red wall and warn the vermin. I know the Brigadier would like to see us saving the 2 princesses also. But to me, a charge and a decision. Doogie and I go after the captives. You 3 get along and go to the Abbey. Now go! Go to the Abbey. Surprisingly, the 3 went without further argument. Doogie patted his friend. Ooch, you're a fine figure of a command, Tam, but what's this ails you? Parting with the claymore like that, allowing the scruffy little wobber to toddle off with the blade and the flag. That's no the Rakkety Tam I'm used to. The border warrior drew his dirk, testing its edge. The banner and the blade are safe, mate. Euphis and Ferdy and the goshawk to keep the eye on both my goods and him. Don't fret, Doogie Plume. 'Twill all work out. Now rid yourself of the claymore and the shield. Our smaller blades are more fitted for the job ahead. We hit the vermin camp, and this 'tis still and dark tonight. Hiding his sword and shield in the shrubbery, the stout Highlander grilled in anticipation of the action to come. Ho ho ho! That's like the Rakkety Tam I know. Clenching with small shagandas in their teeth, holding their dirks ready, both the warriors set off into the silent woodlands. Oh, Wolverine! And the start of chapter 19. Be safe. Bye-bye.